The Intergalactic Observation and Research Facility housed specimens from across the known universe in carefully controlled containment cells. Most were dangerous. All were valuable for study. None terrified the staff like the human girl in Sector 7. Her name was Maya Reeves. She was 17 years old. She weighed 143 pounds. By any objective measure, she was the weakest specimen in the facility. Yet 17 xenobiologists had requested transfers rather than work near her containment chamber. The official incident reports were classified, but rumors circulated. Something about her unconscious nervous system. Something about how she moved in her sleep. Something that made veteran researchers decide they'd rather study literally anything else, including a Krell war beast that had consumed 3 technicians. On this particular night, Dr. Vexos of the Vrexian delegation sat monitoring her cell through the holographic display. It was maintenance duty, the assignment nobody wanted. But Vexos was new enough that he had no choice. Maya lay on her containment cot, her breathing steady and shallow. She'd fallen asleep at exactly 4 o'clock hours. 17 minutes of peaceful monitoring. Vexos was almost relaxing when something changed. Maya's eyes moved beneath closed lids. REM sleep. A dream. Her fingers twitched. Vexos noticed nothing unusual. Human sleep patterns were well documented. Completely normal. Then her breathing changed. It became sharper. Faster. Predatory. Her body temperature began rising. Vexos watched the biometric readout spike. Her muscle tension increased. Her cortisol levels exploded across the charts. But her eyes remained closed. Whatever was happening in her unconscious mind, her body was responding as though she were in mortal combat. Her hands began moving with purpose. Not random spasms. Calculated strikes. Defensive motions. Her legs twitched in patterns that looked like evasion maneuvers. Vexos leaned closer to the hologram. That's when he noticed it. In her sleep, completely unconscious, Maya was running through what appeared to be a combat sequence. Her movements were precise. Deadly. Her brain, even in sleep, was practicing. Reacting to threats that only existed in her dreaming mind. But the most terrifying part wasn't the movements. It was her expression. Even asleep, her face held absolute, predatory focus. No fear. No hesitation. Just cold, animal calculation. The expression of something that had been hunted and had learned to hunt back. Vexos felt something primal activate in his own nervous system. This was a girl. This was someone in a vulnerable state, unconscious and defenseless. And yet every fiber of his being screamed at him to run. He initiated the emergency evacuation protocol. The facility's automated systems kicked in. Doors sealed. Alerts sounded. Within seconds, every staff member was receiving evacuation notifications for Sector 7. The reasoning provided was clinical, biometric anomalies detected. Precautionary evacuation protocol engaged. What it really meant was, the human girl is dreaming about killing things and we're terrified. By 4:03, the observation deck was empty except for Vexos, who was physically unable to move, watching in frozen horror as Maya continued her unconscious combat dance. Her small human body moved with a fluidity that suggested she'd been doing this her entire life. Because she had. Earth's children didn't have parents who could guarantee safety. They didn't have species-wide agreements not to hunt them. They evolved learning that complacency was death, that predators never stopped hunting, and that even sleep couldn't afford them the luxury of letting their guard down. At 4:05, Maya's breathing slowed. The dream passed. Her movements stilled. She was completely, peacefully asleep again. It took Vexos 5 minutes to gather enough courage to disable the evacuation protocol. His hands were shaking as he submitted his report, false alarm. Specimen vitals nominal. Resuming standard monitoring. What he didn't write was the truth, that a 17-year-old girl, while unconscious, had driven 17 trained xenobiologists to evacuate an entire sector. That her unconscious instincts were more terrifying than any conscious threat. That humanity's greatest weapon wasn't intelligence or adaptability. It was the simple, primal certainty that even in sleep, they would fight. Even in dreams, they would survive. Kindly like and subscribe channel. Thank you.